If you're anywhere on the internet today, I'm pretty sure you're aware of the absolutely insane amount of AI slop games that have the current generation of kids in a total chokehold. I mean, 8-year-olds on Fortnite can buy the Brain Rot bundle for only $23 that they probably took from their mom's purse. And Roblox has an entire catalog of various AI brain rot based games. We have Steal a Brain Rot, My Scamming Brain Rot, Find and Snipe Brain Rot, and even Murder for Brain Rot. But despite the amount of low effort AI slop, it seems like the two most popular free online games for young kids right now are Roblox and Fortnite. But are these games even appropriate for young kids to be playing? And when I say young kids, I'm not talking about the intended demographic for these games, which is like preteens and teenagers. I'm talking about like elementary school age kids. Types of kids that definitely do not need to be exposed to the type of content that is in these games. I mean, I don't want to sound like a boomer, but I feel like back in my day on the internet, we had so many more options for free online games for kids that were not as predatory as the options that are available now. Like the ones I remember playing were Club Penguin, Animal Jam, Wizard 101, Pop Tropica. But I also remember there being more options for really young kids, like Starfall, or the free games that were on the PBS Kids website. I mean, I'm not gonna act like the games of the past were perfect. They definitely had their own issues, but I feel like with Fortnite and Roblox, their issues are a lot bigger and way more predatory in ways that games in the past were not. I mean, Roblox and Fortnite operate as free-to-play games, but they make most of their money using in-game currency. Now, this definitely is not a new concept. I played Animal Jam and they had an in-game currency. But then again, Animal Jam's in-game currency did partially fund wildlife conservation and research, so it's a little bit different than what Roblox and Fortnite are currently doing. But the amount that Roblox and Fortnite push their microtransactions in their games is absolutely insane. And also, there are way more opportunities to spend on these games than any of the old games in the past. I always find it a little bit aggravating when games are technically free, but they have to push their microtransactions so much for the game to actually be enjoyable. And I feel like that is such an easy push to do to children especially. I mean, young children already have a difficult time understanding the intrinsic value of money as is, but adding on a layer of it being a virtual in-game currency makes it even more difficult for them to understand the value of that money. In fact, a study done on kids aged 7 to 14 revealed that they were unable to conceptualize in-game currencies and expressed feelings of being tricked or scammed by random reward mechanisms. And speaking of those random reward mechanisms, this is something that Fortnite and Roblox use, especially in their AI brain rot centered games, to kind of help kids microdose gambling. I feel like I shouldn't have to explain that gambling is not a good thing, especially when it is targeted towards children who are extra vulnerable to its tactics. But what I think is so scummy is that most adults are aware of what gambling is, but these kids that are using these random reward generators do not know what gambling is, and they don't even know that they're doing it. So if they develop problems or are falling for manipulation tactics, they don't even know why. Fortnite has come under major criticism for their Steal a Brain Rot map that lets players spend V-Bucks to spin prize wheels and win random items. And guess who this appeals the most to? Little kids who are obsessed with brain rot. Roblox features these random reward mechanisms not only in their AI brain rot games, but across their platform. But these games are not only full of predatory monetization and gambling tactics, they're also just full of predators. Sadly, platforms that typically have lots of children also tend to draw in unwanted creeps. And Roblox specifically has been criticized for the amount of predators that exploit their chat rooms and messaging features in order to groom children. And it's also been criticized for the questionable content that they allow on their platform. The content on the games, I feel like, is what is so different from what we used to have. Good games for young children used to be developed with education in mind. Animal Jam was a collaboration with National Geographic and real-life scientists in order to incorporate science education into their game oriented towards older children. PBS Kids produced several free online games and mobile apps based on their various educational TV programs. Poptropica was a problem-solving educational game made by the author of the Diary of a Wimpy Kid books in collaboration with Pearson Education. But why don't we see games like these being made for kids anymore, and why aren't they as popular now as they were back then? I genuinely think the death of Flash is one of the reasons we don't have as many options for kids' browser games today. I mean, Adobe Flash was an easy way for people to create online games and web pages, and it was super accessible. And I think it made it a lot easier for independent game creators to create a lot more options for simple and free children's browser games. When Flash was killed in 2020, those simple games that could no longer run left a vacuum that needed to be filled. I mean, what else were you gonna play in class when you got bored? And I know that Fortnite and Roblox were already really popular before this, but I think that they gained even more popularity once all of these Flash games kind of died in 2020. And I think that the reason Fortnite and Roblox were able to grab the attention of young gamers on the internet so easily brings me to my next reason why we don't have old school browser games anymore. Fortnite and Roblox have found a way to make games for kids so profitable without providing any kind of benefit for the kids. But I mean, I know what you're probably gonna say, right? Fortnite and Roblox aren't for young kids. They're both rated 13 and up. Then why is all of their in-person physical merchandise either toys designed and targeted for young children or clothes in young children's sizes? It's like they know that young children are playing their game, even though their game is not explicitly rated for young children. You would think that with the amount of money that Fortnite and Roblox are making off of young children who play their game, whether they intend for them to be on those platforms or not, they would implement some kind of measures to keep harmful content off of their platform. But it seems like they're embracing this low effort AI slop onto their platform because they know it's popular with kids, even though it's not beneficial towards them. And they're continuing to use misleading and addicting ways to promote their microtransactions in in-game currency. But developers that choose to stay away from predatory tactics like these have to rely on public support or, in some cases, government funding in order to remain operational, which in most cases is no longer a reasonable source of funding. Starfall is funded by teacher memberships and user donations. PBS, which is responsible for PBS Kids, who creates several free children's TV programs and online and mobile games, got their funding completely cut by the US government in 2025. Not all kids have the means to go and buy a video game. Not all kids have a console or a tablet. Some kids' only means to play games are at their computer lab at school. And free browser games might be the only chance kids get to play games on the computer. And if they're spending all of that time playing Murder for Brain Rot, what good is that doing them? They not only need games with educational value in them, they need variety of games that have educational value. Not just cycling between Fortnite and Roblox all day. Fortnite and Roblox aren't games for little kids, but they know that young children are on their game, even if that's not what they intended. They should have some sort of moral responsibility to try to keep this AI brain rot slop off of their game, and I don't know, maybe take away the gambling? I'm just really hoping that Fortnite and Roblox fully embrace the fact that they have little kids running around on their games, instead of pretending like they're games for teens while they still squeeze all the money they can out of young children. Maybe then they would start cracking down on some of their predatory behavior and brain-melting content. I feel like that would make the game better not just for kids, but everyone who uses their platforms.